Hey everybody, it's Dave Dyer and welcome to episode 2 of Tight 10, my podcast. This is season 1, episode 2. I'm your host. This is the podcast where we have a guest on. We ask them 10 questions that's going to help you get to know them a little better. 10 questions, nice and quick, in and out, just like me at a party. So, our guest today is Brian Vander Ark. Brian is the founder of the college indie band Johnny with an I with his brother Brad, which opened the door to even greater things like founding the group The Verve Pipe, which from their album Villains had the hit The Freshman, which climbed all the way to number 5 in the Billboard charts. You can also catch The Verve Pipe coming up in March and April. They're going to be opening up for Our Lady Peace on their 30th anniversary tour. But the greatest trait he has of all is that we live in the same city. Hey, Brian, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so proud that I can live in a city so close to you.
Yes. We live in a great town, right?
We do. I love Grand Rapids.
I love it.
Think about it. 20 years ago, it was just, there was not, we used to go,
yeah.
we get excited about going to Chili's, for dinner. And now
I
it's growing exponentially.
I think, and this is not part of the 10 questions. I want everybody to clarify, hey, he's asking questions. This is not part of the 10 questions. But a huge factor on the turnaround especially for downtown as far as an entertainment place to go was when they put the arena in, that just blew everything up. Restaurants, bars, all kinds of stuff went crazy. And it's a city that I can say is great and just kind of keeps getting better. I think it keeps getting better.
And better. Oh, fantastic. Yep. With the new Acrisure amphitheater coming in as well, that's, and I toured that thing. It's amazing.
Now, do you want to let people know what you're going to be part of with that?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be the first act to perform there. Yeah, I'm opening up for Lionel Richie, which is a bit odd for me, but I am a huge Commodores fan, so.
Same here. In fact, if you can't do this, I appreciate it, but if he'll let me come up and sing Easy, I do it pretty well.
Sure, yeah, that will go over great.
We'll have it done.
Backstage, it'll go over.
Yeah, I'd love it if Lionel. Hey, we got a friend coming out to sing one of these songs. This chubby guy lives out on the northeast side of town. You probably know him. Anyway, all right. So let's roll into it. Here are the 10 questions. We're going to start with number 1. We're going to start off very easy. It's a softball, but this is a good gauge on who you are and what you stand for.
Is there multiplication involved with this?
Nope. There's no math. No math involved in this. Trust me. There's no math. Question number 1. I ask every guest this. Triscuits or Wheat Thins? Go.
Wheat Thins.
Same.
Yeah.
We get people all the time. This is a very mixed. I think it's a good gauge on who somebody is. My wife is a Triscuit person. For some reason, she says, they're so much more versatile. That makes no sense.
Triscuits is like eating, what is that cereal? What's the cereal that's like the...
Mini Wheats.
Mini Wheats, but without the sugar.
That'd be a straw bat. That's like a straw basket. No. And like I've said this to other people, being a former fat kid and a little chubby these days as well, the Wheat Thin has that silent sugary taste about it. Where you eat it, you're like, all right, I could get nice and fat on this.
Satisfies the sweet cravings for
sure. Yep. All right, that's number 1. Question number 2. You have played with some incredible musicians over the years, including like during the movie Rockstar, you have Jason Bonham, who's one of my favorite drummers, Miles Kennedy, and you did a recent tour with Red Wanting Blue. Name of all the people you've come across with, all the people you've worked with, whether it's in sessions, whether it's live, name the one person that first comes to your mind when you think of somebody who left you in awe and made you say, I can't believe what they're able to do.
I'm still in awe that I met Pete Townsend. And, met Pete Townsend at his show that night. I was in a play in La Jolla, California, and he's on the board of directors for this small prestigious theater. And he came out to the show to see the performance, and then he went out that night and played a little contest for all of the donors. And he mentioned me by name. He said, Brian Vander Ark on the Verve Pipe was awesome. How can it get any better than that?
Nice. I'm a huge Pete Townsend fan. Everybody always talks about the Beatles and the Stones. Which one are you? I'm a big Beatles guy, but I'm a bigger Who fan than I am of the Stones. I just love the Who. And I think it's interesting. I always post these little stupid lists of what I do every day, and the music I picked for yesterday's background was from his White City album called Hiding Out, which I think was, had a couple big hits, but is one of those underrated albums where you listen to it and the musicians he's able to put together, just fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic. Love it.
All right. We're back to stupid now. You're flipping channels and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. The Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller's Day Off is on. All three of them at the same time. The John Hughes trifecta. Which one of those do you pick to watch and why?
Oh, great question. Name them again really quick. Sorry.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. The Breakfast Club.
Yep.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Breakfast. Oh, no, not Breakfast Club. Planes, Trains, Automobiles. Yeah,
Same here.
Yeah, it's got to be because John Candy's performance in that is hilarious. There's so many great little moments in that. I mean, the others are great too. But no, I don't think there's any way that I would switch off Planes, Trains, Automobiles.
I'm same exact one, and I don't know how many times I've seen that movie, but the brilliance of making you laugh throughout 9/10 of that thing, and at the very end, he takes that left turn, and I don't know how many times I've seen it. I'm bawling like a little baby at the end of that movie every single time.
Yeah. Plus, Ferris Bueller's no longer relatable to me anymore. I mean, I love the movie. I would take that over The Breakfast Club, but times have changed so much. I would just sit there and be depressed that it's not as simple as it was back then.
Right. And Ferris Bueller, I got to be honest, every time I've seen that, even when I first saw it, you kind of go, this is the guy who would steal your prom date. I'm not a fan. So, all right. Question number 4. And I think we've actually in private talked about this a little bit before, but I want to get your perspective. Solo shows or gigs with the band? Which do you prefer and why?
Oh, the band by far.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why, because I bore the shit out of myself when I play solo. I'm so bored.
Yeah.
And I hate to tell people that, but honestly, it's like just me and the acoustic guitar is a yawn fest in my own head. Now, people don't feel that way.
Right.
I tell stories, I make jokes, I talk about the songwriting process, all these things that people are interested in. However, for me, it's like, I'm just up there. And with the band, I've got the bombast of the bass and drums, which I love. It's energizing. We can play off each other. Things change every night, so it's much more exciting. So I'm thinking about entertaining myself when I'm on stage. This many, we play so many shows. So I got to think of myself. Selfishly, I'm going to say the band.
All right. Now, I would say for me, being stand-up, now, as you well know, we've talked about, I was in a band in college, actually at the same time, similar time that you were playing with Johnny with an I. I was in a cover band called Freeman and the Chasers. Not quite on the same level, but I enjoy the stand-up, and the reason I think it is that because I have such a lack of patience, I'm always worried about, is that guy going to show up on time? Did that guy learn his part? Did this person do that? Whereas the stand-up is very streamlined, in and out. It's just me. I'm the only one I got to worry about.
Totally understand that too. But I mean, honestly, with stand-up, I can imagine that when you're talking about doing it with other people, typically you're talking about improv. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of improv that goes into rock and roll on stage as well, which is what I love. I love flying by the seat of our pants.
Yep. Now, this also shows the difference. You answered that question from an artistic standpoint. I answered it from a point where I don't like to be irritated. So very different.
It's very on brand for you, Dave.
Yes, it is. All right, number 5. You did an album called Simple Truths with Jeff Daniels in 2016. Jeff Daniels, first of all, tell me about the experience, but Jeff Daniels, better actor or guitar player?
Oh, well, by far. Okay, you're going to get me in trouble. No, by far, not by far. He's a fantastic actor. He's an American icon. I mean, he's one of the top, I would say, one of the top 5 actors out there. And I put him in the same category as De Niro and...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think Daniel Day-Lewis is amazing, but I put Jeff Daniels up in there. He can do anything. As a guitarist, he's surprisingly good. When you think about musicians who play guitar, you go, really? It's like musicians who act. You go, really? Are you acting? But for actors to play guitar, you don't expect much. He's a fantastic guitar player.
The reason I ask this is I've heard that. I've heard that he is a surprisingly great musician. I mean, I know his son plays in a band, and he's very good. But I've heard he is surprisingly good. So
he's fantastic. He really is.
Yeah, good person. Did you have a great time making that album?
Oh yeah. I was just over there a few weeks ago, just hanging out in the afternoon. We were chit-chatting about something. We were talking about that album and how great it was to get into the studio together and play. And we had ideas that we had written before we went into the studio, and then we had ideas in the studio, which doesn't often happen. But when you have that kind of money behind it, you can experiment a little bit more, which is nice. Yeah. And he's got that kind of financial backing, which is just something that I don't have,
Yep. All right, here we go. Number 6. Personal or career goal that you want to accomplish before you see the light at the end of the tunnel, if the light exists. If there's one thing, either personally or professionally, that you kind of think about that pops into your head a lot, what is that thing you want to accomplish?
Finishing my autobiography would be one. It's been 13 years so far. I keep changing everything. I mean, the stories that I make up are not working sometimes. It's all a bunch of lies. I'd love to finish that book. No, my goal is to finish that book by the end of the year. So
okay, great. That's wonderful. That's a good, creative, lofty goal. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Number 7, the biggest career confidence builder. The one moment where you thought, "Hey, I may be able to make a living at this." What's the one thing that happened? You're like, "Okay, this is the trajectory I'm heading on."
Yeah, it was the first time I played the Freshman, and I didn't. I had been working on it all day, rehearsing it. I had the song written, but I wanted to perform it. It was at Rick's in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I wanted to perform it, and I wasn't prepared for it. I messed up right away with the lyric, and then I started making words up. But I had, can't be held responsible. She was touching her face. I had that part. And when I got done playing it, I had a bunch of people come up and go, "What was that song about, touching her face?" And all I could think of was like, I really screwed that up. However, I'm onto something here. And I felt like, wow, if I really perform this well, I think that I might have a hit song on my hands. So that was the moment where I was like, okay, then I'm a songwriter.
Do you find that it's interesting you say that, because, and this is that we'll call this a sub question of this question. Yep. When you're writing a song, very similar to like when I'm writing a joke, there's 99% of them you have no idea how they're going to go.
Yeah.
But every now and then you'll come up with a joke where you go, I know this is going to work. I know it's going to work. So I would assume in music a similar thing?
Absolutely. And there are songs, I mean, those are the songs that we end up playing live. The songs that we don't play live are typically the ones where I think, oh, they're a little lofty, they're a little self-indulgent, a crowd might not enjoy this as much. Again, though, if I get bored, I'm going to pull those songs out to entertain myself. And the band feels the same way. So.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Number 8. We're back to stupid on this one. You ready?
Yep, sure.
You have to go on a 3-hour road trip with either Neil Young, Eddie Vedder, or Joe Rogan. Give me your order from favorite to least and why. Neil Young, Eddie Vedder, Joe Rogan.
I think Neil Young would be the easiest to road trip with.
Okay.
I feel like there'd be great conversation, maybe talking about music a little bit, maybe what he's listening to would be interesting. So I take him first. Eddie Vedder, of course, second. Huge influence on me and my band, and I would enjoy that, although I've heard he's a bit pretentious, so that I don't like. And Joe Rogan is just a big tool as far as I'm concerned.
So you're not going to pick Rogan?
No, that would be, I mean, honestly, I would rather, who would I rather ride with? I'd rather ride with a car full of my ex-girlfriends than ride for hours, and they talk about me the whole time, bad things. Then have a pleasant time with Joe Rogan. So there you go.
All right, here's my order real quick. I'm going to go Eddie Vedder number 1. Was a huge Pearl Jam fan. Yeah, I've heard he's a little pretentious, but I can deal with that. I don't take things personally, so I can deal with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Joe Rogan second, and hear me out. The reason I'm going to pick Joe Rogan second is because depending on where that 3-hour trip is ending up, you might want some muscle with you. All right? That's my perspective on that.
All right.
Neil Young is going to be third. I love Neil Young. I love everything he's done. But when you see interviews with him or anything, I can guarantee you within 5 minutes he would be so irritated with me that he'd either shut me out or yell at me, or it'd be 2 hours and 55 minutes of me just not saying anything because I know the guy in the car hates my guts.
But you know what, though? There's more pleasure in having somebody not talk on a 3-hour trip than me.
Good point.
You know what I mean? I'd much rather listen. The only time I have to be alone because I've got young kids is when I'm in the car. I can listen to what I want to. I don't have somebody yapping at me. So
Yep. Have you ever heard, and I give full credit, this is a Louis C.K. joke. It's just a beautiful joke about talking about going on a vacation with his family and loading up the minivan and just all the chaos involved with it, everything involved with the vacation. He goes, when I shut the door to the minivan and I walk around the van to my driver's seat, he goes, that's my vacation. That's really the only, really the only piece that I get.
Yeah.
All right, number 9. What lessons have you learned from your career that you could apply to life and pass on to your kids as advice?
Ooh, don't take it all too seriously.
Okay, good one.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. None of it matters.
Do you not think, look, I love that you said that because we're of a similar age. Don't you think that comes with age? Because, I'm 57, and I would say probably 10 years ago, you start to just get this mindset where you're like, none of this matters. All the time that I've wasted on being upset with people or about stupid things, none of it makes any difference.
Yep. I mean, honestly, if I sit and think about my career and go, oh, if I would have done this and I would have done this, if I would have listened to the record label or I would have done this or what, none of it matters.
None of it matters.
So I'm such in a good place in my life that it's like, so I would tell my kids the same, and I do tell my kids the same thing. Although I do tell them, don't be poor, whatever you do. That's the most important lesson I've told my kids.
Don't be poor because I'm not giving you any money. That's why.
That's exactly right.
All right. Number 10, last question. Favorite way to celebrate a win, either personally or professionally? Something happens great in your life, something happens great professionally. What's your favorite way to go top it off?
Glass of bourbon.
Nice. You're a bourbon guy.
I love to sit. I'll light a few candles. Here we go. I'll light a few candles. I'll have the red light on in my writing area because I love that David Lynchian writing thing, and I'll just sit there in my nice comfy chair and my legs are crossed and I'll sip a bourbon and just think about what just happened. It's awesome. It's the best feeling in the world. I take that feeling over having kids.
Do you put music on, and do you put the Verve? No music. Silence.
I never listen to music, Dave.
You don't really?
Never listen to music.
Interesting.
I hate music. I am not a music fan. No, I mean, I on occasion somebody will send me something and I'll go, oh God, why are they sending me something to listen to? But on occasion I'll hear something, one of my friends, and I'll go, oh, I'm interested in that. I like this. And then I'll do a deeper dive into that band. Yeah. But honestly, I prefer silence over television or anything else. Again, I've got kids that are loud.
Do you know what's funny is, you say that about music. People ask me all the time, hey, did you catch Chappelle's last special or anything? I go, no, I don't. I rarely watch other stand-up. I rarely do.
It's the same thing. Plus, you don't want to be influenced too heavily.
Right. Yep.
You know what I mean? That's the same thing with musicians. I don't want to suddenly make an album that sounds exactly like Pearl Jam or something. You know?
Yeah. Yep. So, I will say, if I do sit and listen to some music, some of my favorite stuff, some of like old, like Steely Dan and things like that. To me, that's just so soothing, and just the musicianship involved. You're just like, it doesn't get any better than that for me.
I 100% agree with you, and nostalgia is such a powerful elixir
Yeah.
That, that is so soothing to me, to be brought back to those early days when music was so important to me. Just like my kids right now, music is so important. And I'm like, you're going to lose that. I don't tell them you're going to lose that. But enjoy this while you can. Take everything in.
Yes. Great. Well, that's it, Brian. That's the 10 questions. I think it's a good, quick thing for you people to get to know you. Now, if you want people to be able to follow you or get a hold of you, where are you on the socials? What's the best way to find you?
Yeah, always Instagram. TikTok is really good for us. We like to make little funny videos and that kind of thing, and it's all under the umbrella of the Verve Pipe or Brian Vander Ark. So
the Verve Pipe. So again, congratulations. I'm sure that's going to be a great tour with Our Lady Peace. You got all that kind of stuff coming up, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking time to be on episode 2 of Tight 10. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you, man.
You bet. Talk to you soon.